Hi everyone, this is Eric here. I'm a trainer, speaker, and author, and today we have another special guest who flew all the way from Paris, and it's kind of funny because his name is also Eric as well. Yeah, and he's only 23 years old, man, and he's a trainer, speaker, and author, and an entrepreneur himself. So, welcome, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, man. So, how are you doing lately?
I've been doing good, man. I slept literally 12 hours yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
I actually wake up every day at 5 a.m. because I have calls at 5:30 from the US, and I've been doing this routine for the past 3 weeks. It was like the first weekend where I could actually go in and sleep.
Oh my god.
And I just slept 12 hours yesterday.
Oh my god. That's pretty tiring for you.
No, but I feel really amazing now, so it's really good.
Yeah, you can see his energy, man. It's like, whew,
Yeah.
very tough. It's like Tony Robbins. Come on, man. Alright, so just want to share with everyone here a little bit more about yourself. You actually wrote a book as well, and you have your own agency, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah, so I'd like to share with everyone.
Yeah, so first of all, my name is Eric. I'm born and raised in Paris, and I look Asian because I am Asian, so my parents are Chinese. And I wrote a book called the Virtual Summit Launch Formula, which is a blueprint that teaches you literally everything you need to launch your summit online from idea to end of the summit, right? The reason why I wrote this book is because I have an agency that builds online conferences for experts, for SaaS and other businesses. And people keep asking me like, hey, can you help me with my business? But most of the time, either I don't have the time or they cannot afford me because working with me is like 50,000 US dollars per project. And for some people that want to get started, that want to have virtual summit, it's kind of hard for me to teach them, right? So I wrote a book for those people, and it lists literally every single step of the way that I use in my agency, that they can use it themselves. And those are the steps that I used when I first launched my first summit by myself, with no help, with no tech, no background at all. And I did the copy, did the website, did the editing for the videos, did the funnel, did the email sequences, literally every single thing. And this is what I put in my book so that people like you or the audience right now, they can actually go and do it themselves.
Oh, this is a hustler, man. Guys, this is a hustler, no joke. Everything you did it by yourself.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, it's like, wow, really inspiring.
Thank
Wow,
you.
Wonderful. So, yeah, and how about your agency?
Yeah, so it's called LeadNextGen, where we help the leaders of the next generation build the next generation of lead gen. So it's kind of a play of words, right? And we only help like young people, like under 35, under 35 who are millennials who want to build a tribe, who want to build an audience, who want to be able to be positioned as the go-to authority of the industry and be able to generate revenue from that. And the caveat of that is not only do we do that, but we teach our client how they can get paid to get all of those traffic by having a self-funded sponsorship summit. Because of the summits that I helped launching, they were self-funded, and we raised in average 30,000 US dollars, which we reuse into our marketing budget. So literally every single money that comes into the summit is profits.
Wow.
So we don't spend a dime from our own pocket. It's always through someone else's pocket, without any investors, because I don't like to give equity away.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. So, just wondering, just out of curiosity, like, how did it started? How you started in this entrepreneurship journey? I mean, like, do you attended a college or university, or you just like jump out of?
Yeah, man. I went to school in the US for 2 years, and I was like, this is not for me, guys.
Oh, really?
I dropped out after 2 years.
Wow.
And the only reason why I still went to school is because me being French, I needed a visa to stay in the US to go to all those conferences. And for me to stay long term, right, I need to have a visa.
Yeah.
So I get a student visa, took the dumbest class possible, the really easy classes, so that I make my parents happy, like, yo, I took this class, I got an A, cool. And then I go to these conferences, right? And the thing with me is like, I knew I wanted to have a business when I went to the US, but I didn't have a business, right? I didn't even have a business idea. So my business started by just being a host for a lot of like party people, meaning that in college, right, I was really good friends with people, but I never party, but I always befriended people who went to parties.
Oh.
So my friends would be like, hey Rick, do you have any parties this weekend? It's like, yes, like my friend Josh. And it's actually a party for a sorority party, or for like frat parties, like pretty hard to get in. But I will always befriend the guy who like opens the door, and I'll be like telling my friends like, hey, if you do my homework for me, man, I'll just get you in.
Oh.
So the homework part was taken care of.
Okay.
And I can go every single weekend to like business conferences and be able to network with people. And I use the same principle, right? Where if you don't have any business, if you don't have any connection, build a platform that allows you to have connections. And for me, the platform was just hosting dinners with other entrepreneurs that I wanted to meet and talk at the business conference, before and after. I would literally send a message to people on Facebook like, hey, I saw you coming to this conference. I'm hosting dinner with other entrepreneurs. Are you interested to come? And then 6 to 12 people come in and we just talk and network. And eventually I became the go-to person that people wanted to talk to when it comes to connecting with entrepreneurs. Because when you're a host, you are the platform, right?
Yeah.
Like the same thing that we talked about yesterday at my event is, in high school or college, there was always this kid that wasn't the coolest, that wasn't maybe not the most good-looking one, but was really popular because he hosted all the parties. And all the girls came in. And if all the girls come in, all the guys come in.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to be your friend. Same thing applies for business. If you create a space for that, and everyone comes to you, even if you don't have a business idea, who cares? You know a lot of people. By being just a genuinely good guy, by having good energy, and without being like too sharky, we're like, hey, I actually create this event so I can actually ask something from you. Like just build genuine relationship, and you can actually build social capital you can leverage in the future. So that when I launched my own event 2 years later, I was able to have almost 120 people coming to my events.
Wow.
And I was able to make my 6-figure business at 20 years old.
Ooh.
By just hosting these parties, right?
Wow. Wow, interesting. He's like a networking king here.
But that's the thing, right? Like, there's a lot of people who do networking, but it's like, hey, like, what can I get from you, right?
Yeah.
But me, it was like, hey, how can I support you? It's like this other framework where like, hey, well, do you need help with anything in your business right now? And whatever issue they might have, it's like, cool, I can't help you, but I know someone else who can. So I'm just connecting people.
So like basically you're the bridge that connects from one party to the other.
Yeah.
And you're like providing them solutions as well along the way.
Correct. So if you don't have a business idea, you can become a connector. And that doesn't require any skills, but social skills. And that's something you can actually train yourself.
Wow, interesting. Wow. Guys could just learn from him. So along your entrepreneurship journey, I'm pretty sure you have encountered several challenges, obstacles, but also created some breakthroughs along the way. So what are the main factors of challenges that you encountered?
For me, it's like I realized there's only so much you can do by yourself. The number one thing is again like who you spend your time with. I'm like super like selective with the type of people I have in my life. And if there's like for some reason like any kind of red flags that I see, for example like someone I go to dinner with that I might be thinking I want to do business with, but I see this person treating a waitress or waiter not that well, like I don't want to be friends with this person. Like I only want to do business with people that I can be friends with. And people who I want to be friends with, they have good values, they have good ethic, they actually care about other people. And more than anything else, like if I do business with this person, right, I don't want to be drained by him or her being a shitty person.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day is you have to understand like what you value in a friend, so you can like reverse engineer like what you value in a business partner.
Yeah, true. I remember there's this quote by Jim Rohn, and I've been using this quote all throughout my whole life.
Yep.
And it goes like, you're the average of the 5 closest people that you mix with. So similar like him, I used to have all these toxic friends as well. Like I just look at the 5 closest people that I hang out with, and I try to dig out what's the common traits, what's the common behavior, and I realized most of them are all nothing but negative. Yeah, so I decided to like freeze them one side and start hanging out and being with the person that gives me value, and not being a taker myself, because I also will give them some values, give them some ideas and some connection as well. So it's a win-win situation.
So the next level of that, right? You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? What if you spend 24 hours with them? Meaning that what I did is once I found the people, we created an entrepreneur house where you live and breathe and share meals with those people every single day. You brainstorm ideas every week so you can help and build a business. So if you're an entrepreneur, right, you don't need to be surrounded by people. You can only have so many dinners in a day.
Yeah.
But if you go home and you're still around some environment of people who hustle and work hard, then you're gonna make it. And that's what I did. Like we hosted an entrepreneur house in San Diego, in Los Angeles, and literally seeing one of those people that I met 2 years ago, they have exploded businesses because they were immersed in an environment. You can go to business events, but that's only 3 days in a year.
Yeah.
What do you do the rest of it?
Yeah.
But if you live with people that you actually are like-minded, like compared to you, then you can be like immersed 24/7 in this kind of environment. And that's like almost for free because if you're the host of this house, right? You can actually gather and create events in your house by inviting other entrepreneurs. And then you become the cool kids that have all the parties for entrepreneurs, and you live in the party 24/7, but around business.
Someone is leveraging it
Yeah, man.
very, very well. Alright, so, and also nowadays the youth, especially in Asia, they have this mindset where, you know, they like to do things fast, like to earn quick money, they like to create some shortcuts. So what's your thought about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like knowing what you want, like why you wanted things. Things are a good exercise. That's like the 5 why question. It's like whatever I ask you a question, like you said, like what do you want to do in your life? Like what's the number one motivator for you in your life? And you're like, I want to be financially free. And you say, why? Well, because I can now like not work anymore. So it's like, why? So because I want to have more time to do my own business, so I can actually help my parents. Like, why? Because I want to give back to the community. It's like, why? Because actually I was stuck and my parents have been poor their entire life, and I never want this to happen to anyone. So this is my mission now, to actually step up and actually share the knowledge that I got, so that nobody else will go through what I went through. So it goes really deep into like the core of who you are as a person and all the intention behind all your actions. And once you know like the deep why, you can reverse engineer into like a mission. And I think that's really important. Like people want to go fast, but it's like, why do you want to go fast? And ask yourself like 5 times, or different angles, right? Why do you actually need a business? Or would you actually want a business? Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's the reality. But a lot of times they think, you know, I want to do this, I want to be like him. But at the end of the day, they have no idea, they have no knowledge, no background. But they still do it, and at the end, they just jump off the cliff. And
I mean, the biggest thing is like having a role model, right? Someone you can model after success-wise. Just look for someone that has had the steps taken care of, who's like just 1 or 2 steps ahead of you, and just ask them advice and model after the success and how they achieved it, so you can actually copy the path by having the quick, no cliff of how they succeeded. And that's the best way to succeed is to shadow someone who has succeeded in a way that you want to succeed.
True, fair enough. And also, what will be that? Because we all know that mindset is like a prerequisite in order to be successful.
Yeah.
So, what's your your advice or your thoughts about the mindset for everyone?
So for me, it's like, again, you're the average of 5 people you spend most time with. If all your friends are f***ing shitty, right? And like some of you might be like, all my friends, all my parents are kind of shitty, right? Like, how do you find these people? Well, it can be at first like book mentors, book people you surround yourself with, podcast, audiobooks, right? Surround yourself with people that you wish you had, but in a virtual way, so that your mindset has been upgraded around the good filters, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Second thing is read all books, right? Again, that's that you always continuously surround yourself with the good content. You start to believe it's possible. You gotta shut down all the noise around you that's not helping you at all. And the third thing you have to realize is you're 100% responsible for anything that happens to your life. Like once you take responsibility, everything just change. Because it's nobody else's fault now, it's always yours. Like, if I say, like, for example, like, oh, why don't I have a girlfriend? Or because the girls are actually all bitches. Because nobody are actually kind to me. Because, I'm not tall, my parents' fault, right? My friends actually not helping me because they don't help me, right? You always put the blame on someone else. But when you put the blame on someone else, you can never change on yourself.
Yes.
Because you're asking the wrong question, like, why me, right? Instead of asking yourself, how can I improve? How can I change this? What can I do to actually improve my chances to do X, Y, Z? And once I have this mindset, like, cool, well, maybe, like, how can I be more social around girls? well, maybe I should read books about how to be social with girls. How can I better myself? How can I be more confident, right? Maybe I should work out more. How often have I worked out this month? None. Okay, maybe that's why I don't attract people. Because I give a bad vibe. If I don't work out, if I don't take care of myself, why would I expect anyone else to be attracted to me? So having this mindset for both business and personal life is really critical for any entrepreneur. Even if you're an entrepreneur, anyone.
Yeah, anyone.
Anyone.
Yeah, I do believe that the mindset is a lot of people, they like to point fingers at someone else, but they never like to point to themselves.
You know why? It's easy.
Yeah.
It's you. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's always easier to blame it.
Yeah, and they rather become a victim themselves rather than being a responsible version of themselves. Like how can they do better? It's like even like I share with you guys as well, the words itself is how you use it. Like for example, like I see this store, there's this item I want to buy, and the first thing that comes to your mind is like when you check your wallet and you go like, oh, I have no money, I'm broke, I'm poor. But instead of having that mindset, rather than you change it like how can I afford it?
Yep.
What are the ways I can do to get that item? So yeah, mindset is really, really important, and how you play with your words, not just in business as well, but also in the personal life as well.
100%.
Yeah. So do you have any advice for the people out there who want to be successful, not just in business but also in their life as well?
There's a great book that I really enjoyed reading when I first started, which is called Mastery by Robert Greene, which is basically a book about how historical leaders master their own craft. And the TLDR of this book is just basically like how you can shadow someone else master, so you can actually replicate and surpass master. And it's actually a great book that helped me to actually get a lot of mentors and how to become a great mentee, right? If you want to be a mentor, you need to be a great mentee first. It's always back to you, like how can you add value to someone else? Even if you think you have nothing to give, you have something to give. You gotta ask yourself, like, what can I have? If I don't have time, no skill, at least you have like maybe resourcefulness to be able to add value, like no matter what situation.
Alright, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Of course.
A lot of good insights, man. This young lad here is so successful. You guys should really listen to him, learn from him. And I'll share more about his book as well, and also his company. So if you guys like to know more, you can always check out in the comment link below here. So up till then, just go out, never give up, and just start changing your mindset, man. Have a good positive and start mixing with the right people. Alright? So till then, stay awesome and alive as always, and see you guys real soon. Thank you very much.